All right, so next we are going to build the segmented ring for the copper medallion and start on this grid work. All right, so the grid is only about 3/8 of an inch thick or so. So instead of wasting all this walnut, I am going to slice off a strip of veneer and then use that for a future project. And then once I get down to my final thickness, I am going to rip them into little strips to create the grid. All right, so I'm cutting my slats for the grid work, and each time I'm going to make sure I use my stops so they come out all exactly the same, and that will help ensure that the grid work goes together nice and square with no issues, hopefully. All right, and then as I cut them, I'm just going to lay them out in order that they go, just so I don't get confused. All right, so I got my dado blade set up, and I'm going to do a couple of test cuts just to see how it fits together. Just a little too tight. So let's adjust this blade. All right, so it took a couple of tries, but here we go. All right, last two pieces. All right, so we don't glue it to the workbench. Let's get some paper down. All right, so for my grid work, I don't have enough room or enough width on these pieces for this depth of cut. So I'm going to take this bearing off and add this larger bearing on, so it'll make a shallower depth of cut. And then I'll still have about a 1/4 inch space in the middle here to glue it to the subsurface. All right, that's just wide enough to catch the metal on both sides and leave me some meat in the middle. Our depth of cut is still good. All right, so because we used a router bit, we got some roundy corners here. So I'm just going to use a chisel and clean those up. I'm being real gentle because this material is real thin, so I don't want to accidentally split it by hammering down too tight or too hard. So I'm just going to take my time, put some music on the earbuds and just take my time and get it done. All right, so I'm working on cutting the copper to fit in the grid, and since the copper is so thin, when you run it through the table saw, it kind of chatters and bounces around, and I don't feel super safe with that. So I have it taped to a piece of hardboard. I have 1 inch squared up that I ripped off camera to give me a square edge, and then that square edge will go up against my fence to help me generate a square edge. And I'm going to cut it face down like this, so that way it doesn't chatter and the cut is a little bit more safe. All right, here we are at my favorite part, adding the patina to the copper. So each piece is sprayed with a chemical solution to add the patina and then is hand stippled. And I just keep working that until I get a pattern that I like. And then we're going to put it in the fume chamber to bring out some additional colors. All right, I've made this fume chamber a few projects ago. It's gotten a lot of use and made some really cool things. And so today I am pouring some ammonia in there in these little cups, and then a couple other things to create basically some nice fumes that will react with what I've already put on the copper to really make those colors pop. All right, and then we're going to seal it up here and let it sit for a couple hours. Yo, Mr. White. All right, we're going to end today's video doing a little test fit of all the little copper pieces into the grid to make sure they all fit, and also that I made enough of them. It would suck to start spreading the glue to get those guys glued on there and realize I was one short. So next video, we're going to start working on that center medallion with the segmented ring. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Have a good day.